Welcome to Mezinanya Africa, where we discuss Black issues for Black people, about Black people, to Black people, and all non-Black people around the world. This is your arts and edutainment channel, where we give you knowledge about Black people and for Black people to the whole world. Today, we have come to share our thoughts about what's happening in South Africa. A very sad week it has been ever since former President Jacob Zuma was arrested and put in jail. Yes, and we are, in fact, going to have a moment of silence for his memory in jail. Igwe amandla ngayetu amandla ngayetu amandla Jacob Zuma amandla Nelson Mandela amandla Desmond Tutu amandla Stephen Biko amandla Winnie Mandela, amandla ngayetu. It has been a sad week for many Black people, if not the whole Black world. Many events have happened. Even the loss of the Haitian president is also whom we honor in a moment of silence. And very many things that have happened in African countries. Yeah, the Black world is going through just a mild shaking. Yes, but this current one of Zuma is unnecessary and should be cancelled out by the current president, Cyril Ramaphosa. Yeah, he needs to release Jacob Zuma. And we put up the reasons why Jacob Zuma should be released from prison. Number one, he is a freedom fighter. Yes, he fought for the freedom of South Africa. South Africa was not free. It was enslaved ever since 1910, when they put the first constitution for South Africa without Black people. Then 1960, when they had a referendum and Britain was leaving South Africa, but the Boers took over instead of taking over with Blacks, in fact, giving Blacks more authority. Because I know the Boers, they will say they lived there, they were born, they lived in that land. Yes, you did, but you found Blacks there, and those are the owners of the land, and they are to have the final say over the land. Just like what has happened in Israel, where the Israeli owned the land Yes, not the Palestinian. Yes, even though the Palestinians lived there, yes, the real owner is an Israeli. So that's what happened in South Africa. Yeah, the real owner is the black person. So there was a travesty of justice when the Boers took over and said, we will make South Africa independent without black people. My God, against the chagrin of black people. And they saw Nelson Mandela rise, Alfred Lutuli, all of them, Steve Biko, Jacob Zuma was also arrested in that period when he was not even 30 years old. He was a young man, and he was arrested and sent to Robben Island, and his jail sentence was 12 years. You're joking. And now his country wants to lock him up for 15 months. Oh God, they are not reading what they are doing to the freedom fighter movement that built Africa. So we call for the release of Jacob Zuma based on his freedom fighting, or for liberation. And now South Africa is free because of Jacob Zuma. South Africa is free because of Nelson Mandela. South Africa is free because of Albert Luthuli. South Africa is free because of Desmond Tutu. South Africa is free because of Winnie Mandela. South Africa is free because of all the ones who, the blacks who are not known, but they died. Sharpeville massacre and all the riots in Soweto. Even right now, the blacks who have died, it is the freedom struggle. My God, there's so much happening in South Africa. It's beyond understanding. So that's why release Ramaphosa. Please release Jacob Zuma because he was a freedom fighter. And he releases him through pardon. That's the law. Secondly, Jacob Zuma is a son of the soil called Africa. He is an African. He's a black man. Even if he was born in Europe, he was not born there, but if he was born, he's still the son of the soil. His parents are African. And Africa is the cradle of mankind. So all human beings, they are children of Africa. He's a son of the soil. You can make, my God, Africa has been shaking this week. You are joking. Mother Africa is crying because her son, she knows him very well. A free man is now enslaved again. Unbelievable. So because he's a son of the soil called Africa, he should remain free in the soil called Africa. Yes, this is his home. So how can you be jailed in your home? How can you be imprisoned in your home? That's why they even pardon petty offenders. Yeah, because they are home. They are home. So we are standing with Zuma to be liberated because he's a son of the soil called Africa. Number 3, he was a president of the great rainbow nation and deserves respect and honor. The office of the president is of highest value, and thus persons occupying should be protected even after vacating the seat. So he should be accorded honor because that was a South Africa. The current South Africa came out of the blood of black people and even some few whites, but some of them, most of them didn't die. Yeah, they suffered, but for them, they were in the black struggle. There are very few. There's even one of them who was arrested called Carl. Yeah, recently, he was arrested this week. And he was a freedom fighter. But they were not many, they are not sizable, but the blood of black people was so much, and it was spilled for many years. It was serious. And the people were not even armed. You see, yeah, there were riots that used to happen. As I told you, Sharpeville massacre. Remember Sarafina? When you watch it, my God, school children were even freedom fighters. Hi, my friends, you gotta understand the gravity of having Jacob Zuma in jail. It's even an insult to freedom fighters. Yeah, and even having a former president in jail, yeah, is an insult to the office of a president, because the president is equivalent to a king, which we've already put in point 6. We'll talk about that. So right now we're talking about the office of the president, which is in the constitution. Yeah, and that's what, once you sit on that seat, yeah, you are to be accorded honor forever till you die. Yes, but most constitutions in the world, like you saw in America, there was an era. Yeah, they impeached their president. How can you do that? And your president is the commander in chief. He's in charge of your security. Just imagine you have security guards where you live. Then instead of them guarding, you are busy interrogating them. You see, it's madness. That's what they've done. And President Zuma, former president, is now no longer there. So why interrogate him for anything? There is no basis in law. There's a reason why. He's the president. He's the symbol of the nation. So even if if something comes against him, yes, you see, it is not his fault or her fault. Yeah, it is the law. Even right now, Zuma has no charges. Yeah, we know the case. We've read through the story. Yeah, the whole scenario that led to his arrest. Yeah, they have just resurrected something that had already been told that there was no evidence. Okay, yeah. But nonetheless, all officers of the president should be protected, because they are security men and women for those countries that have women as presidents. Yeah, so you shouldn't be looking for time to take them to court, because even if he doesn't go to court, yeah, his lawyer is going. Yeah, so he's aware he's in court. Yeah, that's what even happened in countries like Kenya, where they were in the international court. Yeah, and yet they were president. You see, that was a disaster, and it came. There was an insecurity situation because of that, because the president is not focusing, yeah, on his work. So that is a lesson that the world learned, that when someone is a president, they are protected by the entire state. And once a president, always a president. That's why we call him the former president, Jacob Zuma. Number 4, he is a senior citizen, and that should be honored for his old age that signifies wisdom, yet vulnerability. Zuma is above 70 years. He's an old man. He has passed the age of a king, according to the Israeli people. And that means he should be taken care of very well. When you see him in the street, you even bow in honor of his person, yeah, and his old age. Yeah. So it signifies wisdom, yet vulnerability. You see, old men, they are almost going to die. Old women, yeah, they are reaching the age of leaving the planet, going to become the living dead. Yeah, so you can imagine, it's just putting him in a jail. No matter how fancy it is, it's still a jail. It's still enslavement. That's what people did not understand about slavery. Yeah. They didn't understand about Israel. Israel did not build jails because of that. They knew it was slavery. Ancient Israel, yeah, currently they have now jails, yeah, but ancient Israel, yeah. Egypt had jails, yeah, but not Israel, because to them it was slavery. That's why they had more capital punishment than jailing. Yeah, though we don't support capital punishment, and though even Israel, did not enforce capital punishment because people were not even committing those crimes. Yeah, they just were only adultery, sex crimes. That's all Israel was committing. So that's why they rarely had the time to enforce these high crimes like murder. Yeah. So he's a senior citizen. He's an old grandfather, great grandfather. Yes, you should let him rest. You should honor him. Yes, and not take him, denigrate him, degrade his old age. He's a senior citizen. He can't come into combat just the way you want. Yeah, you see, he has to prepare himself. Yeah, so we forgive the courts of South Africa. What I call it, they are hanging on the Iroko tree. They put the rope and they pull the rope to their death. But they can stop the suicide by releasing Jacob Zuma. Because it's a South African court, are free. They are free people, but they are jailing their freedom fighter. It's irony of the highest order. So Ramaphosa, release Baba Jacob Zuma. Release grandfather Jacob Zuma by pardoning him. Jailing him is like jailing Nelson Mandela. I want all our listeners to know that's what is happening. Nelson Mandela is in jail right now in the form of Jacob Zuma. Why? Because number one, Jacob Zuma is a freedom fighter. So because he's a freedom fighter, he's honored. Yes, yeah, there should even be a museum with the big portraits of all the freedom fighters there. Even Desmond Tutu deserves that honor. Yeah, and they're untouchable. They're diplomats. Even their passports are special. Yeah, freedom fighters need those privileges. Yes, in every country in Africa, we have to honor them. I think it's because Africa has a young generation, that is not aware of the history. Yes, so they are not aware. But when they get aware, they will cry. Yeah, and you sometimes need to ask the old what happened in the past. Yeah, but not with the aim of vengeance, because we are now free. So we are free. Okay, but however, have you seen what has happened? When you enslave again, the riots have come back. Sharpeville has come back immediately. So jailing a freedom fighter is jailing Nelson Mandela. Is Jacob Zuma a freedom fighter? Yes, he is. Was Nelson Mandela a freedom fighter? Yes, he was. So who is in jail? Nelson Mandela. So what should happen? Release Jacob Zuma and give him the honor with all the other heroes. After getting him out, they should have an event, and honor all of the heroes, put them in a museum, make sure they're living well. All of them have a mansion, of glory in South Africa, and special rights, even like passports. And lastly, being a former president, he is equivalent to an African king. You see, because in Africa, the king left office when he died, not an election. When he died, that's when the king left office. But today, the system we inherited from the colonialists called for terms, limits. So what happened? Elections come, you have to have another election. There is a war. Why? Because the former president was still working. So now, but someone is telling him he has to leave, because his time is up. So somebody comes in his place. Then other times elections goes crazy, because Yeah, the president wants to go on working, but someone is saying you have to come out. You see, that's madness. Yeah, that's why Xi Jinping of China said enough. Yeah, he is president for life. You see, he has borrowed a leaf from Britain. Yeah, the queen has been ruling for, count this, 70 years next year. 70. In Africa, even 40 years, Gaddafi, they could not, they said get out, but the queen has ruled for 70 years. You see? So what's the lesson? And when you go to Britain, it is very organized, yeah, because it has had one ruler. Of course, I know they have their issues because they have to elect a prime minister. But are you seeing the message? Yeah, the king is not to leave office. Yeah, and the Queen of England is equal to the African president because they sign laws. Yeah, so you see, that's the story. And then though the Queen is beyond, yeah, she cannot argue with any law that's brought to her. Yeah, she has to sign because it was passed by the Commons. So actually, Britain is more of a parliamentary system, yeah, where the parliament has power. However, the African president is even stronger, yeah, because for him, he can veto. He can say, I will not sign this law. So that's the power of the African president. He's actually a king, but a king with term limits. Yeah. So it's important for us to discuss whether we want presidents to last forever. But even if we don't do that, any former president deserves honor, yeah, deserves protection, because it's a great job to lead a country of millions of people. He's a king. Yeah, honoring. Now, why do you have kingdoms? Because God is a king. Guy is a king. Katonda is a king. Yahweh is a king. He's ruling. And he can be king or queen. Yes, Africa has had queens ruling. Israel is in North Africa, North, very North Africa. And they had queens ruling. Queen Athaliah ruled. And Deborah, Judge Deborah ruled. See, they had women also. So whichever, and even Africa, we have our warrior queens. In Benin, they were there. And in Kenya, Wangu Makeri, she was the chief, yeah, which was equivalent of a king in Kikuyu land. And Mekatilili of Giriama, she was also the equivalent of a queen. See, so whether it's king or queen, they deserve honor because they are like, and they are representatives of God on earth. It doesn't mean they won't make mistakes, but when they do make mistakes, you don't vilify. Yeah, you even hide. Yes, because that's what you go and see the termites and the bees. Yeah, when you just destroy the termite hill, they go for the queen. That's the most important person, because for them, without the queen, they can't even build anything. Yeah, she's, even if you see, she's so fat. Yes, she's so fat, and they carry her away because they know something, and yet they have tiny, they don't even have a brain. But they do that. They carry her, yes, in her state of fatness. Yes, because they know that one is mama, yeah, who gave birth to us. See, same to the bees. Yeah, when the bees come and they sting you, it's because you are coming to the hive. Bees don't disturb you if you're not near the hive. But when you are near the hive, they will disturb you because the hive has the queen bee. You see, unbelievable science. Yet when you look at catch a bee and look for the brain, you will struggle. You will not find it. But they are that clever to know that their leader deserves protection. And that's the same. That's why we honor God as our ruler. Yes. I know as we've ended now, people say, but in a democracy, aren't we in democracy? Yes, you're in democracy. I'm just only presidents and kings can make mistakes. Yeah, they do. But because they are in that highest office, yeah, you have to finish that rectifying and hide it, yeah, as quickly as possible. Look at the honor that Noah's sons gave Noah. He was naked and drunk. Ham laughed at their dad, but Japheth and Shem refused to look at his nakedness and covered it. Yes, because they were saying, no, he's daddy, he's the king. Yeah, so cover him. Yeah, let's not stare at his nakedness and wonder and laugh. No, we will cover daddy. So we are to cover our presidents, even when they make a mistake. Yeah, they can, but you cover them. Yeah, you don't take them to trials. Yeah, that is a travesty. How do you try your king? He symbolizes you. Yeah, you see, that's why you are a sinner, and so are they. Yes, so you are just killing yourself. Yeah. So what should you do when presidents are caught in mistakes? You make laws that protect them. Yeah, like now in Zuma's case, they are talking about contracts. Yeah, the attorney general should be there when he's signing. Yeah, because that's the one to eat the bullet for the president. All right. Not the president, he's the head of security. Yeah, how is he eating the bullet? How is he going to court? Yeah, it is wrong. Yes. Even if you're a former president, because you were a president before. Yeah, we protect Zuma, we protect Benjamin Netanyahu, we also protect Donald Trump. Yeah, because they are being vilified for being former. Yeah, meaning they don't value that office. Yeah, there's a lot of what you call a lack of spirituality. Yeah, people are not spiritual. Yeah, to know leadership. Yeah, people are. It's like we are atheists. Yeah, so they don't have God. That feeling that God is ruling your life. Yeah, so the moment people get back to that, and they will, in this time, yes, the God at Mezinanya, Africa, we honor Israel. The God of Israel is the creator of the world, because that nation is the greatest nation in the world, and Jewish people have suffered for thousands of years because of that specialness of the God of Israel. And in Africa, we have power, which we call magic. Yeah. And that magic comes from the God of Israel. And there are also Jews in Africa, Black Hebrews, they live here in Africa. So that's the power of Israel. Yeah. So when people go back to that God, and they are going back to that God of Israel, who is a free God, yes, he doesn't lock you up. Yeah, you can believe whatever, you can do whatever you want. Evidenced by the first humans in the world, the black people, the Khoisan, they even didn't have a king. Yeah, they were just living life freely. God did not kill them for not having 10 commandments. He was still in their life, even without writing. Can you imagine? They could not write. A 60-year-old did not know what writing was, but God was with him. And that's Africa. Africa knows that God is with you everywhere. And so God the King has representatives called the presidents and kings. So if we respect God, you will respect the president or the king in your country. And even if you see a flaw, yes, you don't do it in public. Like now you find people on social media, they attack a president. Just do your best to even tweet in the most dignified way. Yes, so that he knows that the citizen is not someone coming to attack him. because he's in charge of your security. Yeah. We can talk about that forever. So we end there with President Ramaphosa releasing Jacob Zuma, a freedom fighter, a son of the soil, a former president of South Africa, a senior citizen, a Nelson Mandela, and an African king. We end with Shoshaloza again, this time coming from Ndlovu Choir. That other Shoshaloza came from the Great Black Mambazo, and now Ndlovu Youth Choir sings.
My name is Emily.
Shoshaloza.
I'm an ICT professional and I'm a
Kulens Ontaba. Enjoy. Amandla. Gaye tu.